Hey guys, just like I said, um, I'm going to be doing some stories as well as poems, jokes, and music, and just topics on life. And this is my first story installment. It's going to be one story, three installments, so I'll stop basically rambling, and here it is. Bitter, thought Mr. Carroll as he sipped his coffee, and at the moment there was this dissatisfying fact that there was no milk and sugar, mostly because it was his eighth cup for the last hour. Not wanting to be a bother as well as not really wanting to pay, he left. Mr. Carroll was not truly a thief. He was just an unnoticeable person due to a wish gone horribly awry. All he wanted to be was invisible, and in some ways he was. If you just sat next to him on an airplane or a subway, you might just barely notice him. Then if he decided to leave you, and he always did, you would forget him in an instant. And so he went through life under the radar. This is his story. Mr. Carroll was in every sense of the term a big shot. From the swagger in his step to his custom aviator sunglasses, everyone in town seemed to know him, and like the typical big shot, he cared nothing for them. They were like an electronic talking scale, which he had, simply there to tell you how good and shapely you were. He had his pick of most of the women in town. However, most, not all. And for Mr. Carroll, that simply would not do. The prettiest one, in Mr. Carroll's eyes anyway, was the recent newbie to the community of Waynestown, Gail Robinson, who could see past Mr. Carroll's bravado into his unguarded and vulnerable side, and that is something that both scared and excited Mr. Carroll. The first time they met was at a typical meeting place, the town pub. It was the combination of him being drunk early that night and her beauty as she walked in that fateful Tuesday that made him notice her. Immediately, Mr. Carroll went for his patented 3 steps of seduction. First, send the lucky lady a drink, which was the moment it got to her, it was instantly returned with an aura of spite about it. This he promptly ignored, and he went for a second step. Pickup lines. Surely his famous wit would win her over. He was wrong. The second he sat near her, she immediately moved to some more lonesome location and ordered a straight shot. Mr. Carroll decided not to take the hint and moved, to Gail's dismay, to step 3. Talk to her like a person, get emotional, cry, and demand pity sex through the tears. Something must have tipped her off to this scheme because she continued to avoid him, even when he acted, in his eyes, charming. There was only one thing to do: get angry. "Hey!" Mr. Carroll said, snapping his fingers to gain her attention. She turned around and towards him and took another shot. "What?" she said, obviously annoyed. "What's wrong with you? I don't think you know this, but I am the fantastic Mr. Carroll." She stared blankly at him and simply asked, "So? Are you some kind of horny, cocky magician?" Mr. Carroll was speechless, an uncommon event in his life, and he didn't like it. After a moment of fumbling with his words, he regained his composure and said, "No, I, ma'am, am a big deal around here. You'd be lucky to date a guy like me." She paused for a moment and turned to the bartender. "Is this guy shitting me?" "Nope, he is a big deal in this town." The two men pounded fists. "Fantastic," she said as she rolled her eyes. He has backup." "Another shot, please." "Sorry, you've had enough," said the bartender, and in stereotypical form began polishing a random empty glass. Hey, let's just talk and you'll realize why I'm a big deal. Oh, sure, and after that we can have hot, passionate sex while I tell you how great you are. Sounds good. Not gonna happen. Why not? Well, for one, I hate guys like you. I'm sure you have the pick of whatever girl you want, and hey, I just want to break that pattern. If you haven't guessed already, you're just not my type. Now get out of here or become invisible. Just make it so that I don't see you or whatever. Fine, mumbled Carol, and he left in shame. Why'd you have to go and do that? Man, that drunk and depressed can do some crazy things. I'm sure he'll be fine. Fine. Now, how can I get you to give me another drink? Get out. Mr. Caro walked along the sidewalk, moping and thinking about what just happened. So this is what it feels like to be rejected. Now I understand what every fat girl feels like at parties. He kept walking, saying hi to random people on the street, knowing that somehow if he thought hard enough, he would possibly recognize them. But right now, he was too immersed in his own thoughts. Eventually, he stumbled in his rejected mood into something he had never seen before. A strange but enchanting well. What the hell, why not, he thought, and grabbed the penny he didn't expect to have. But he always thought change was beneath him. However, this time he was grateful for it. He thought about in his still slightly drunk mindset about what to wish for that would win her over. He thought about what she said, and become invisible seemed appealing at the moment. He didn't know why, but quickly thought, who cares? At least I can sneak up on her maybe when she's changing or something. Then he made his wish to become invisible, tossed the penny, and looked down at his hands. Damn! Still visible, Mr. Carroll mumbled, and moved on from the well down a crowded sidewalk. Yet something was different. Where were the hellos? Where was the recognition? Why didn't anybody notice him? Time for an experiment, he thought, choosing a random passerby on the street, grabbed him and held him up. Can you see me? Mr. Carroll asked menacingly. Yes, Mr. Carroll, why wouldn't I? You almost walked right by me. Where's the recognition? You don't expect every passerby to notice you, do you? Yes, that's what always happens. Look around you. I violently pressed you against a wall and interrogated you, and nobody noticed. How is that not strange for you? I don't know. That's a good point. Could you put me down? With those words, Mr. Carroll had a minor epiphany. Put me down, he mumbled. Excuse me for all that. I've got to go do something. And he ran, and with that he ran, and the man he just questioned quickly brushed himself off and forgot what had just happened. Gail did not make it far outside the bar before slumping on the side of some building. She was in all ways wasted, and for no reason she began to laugh. She thought, at least I told that guy off before I was like this. Then she rolled back her head and passed out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys at least made it through that. And, well, stay tuned for the next installment. Bye.